Let me say something to you. And here's what the Lord shared with me in my prayer closet Saturday morning at the oblation hour, that America's economy was one of the world's strongest economy because it got started with 300 years of free labor. Now listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. The reason why America's economy is stronger than communist China or communist Russia or even England and Europe, the countries of Europe, America's economy grew and became the strongest, not because the American Japheth man was the smartest or the brightest or the best economist or the most frugal or had the best investments or made the best products, and therefore his economy is greater. You know, Japanese make better electronic products than America do. They even make better cars. Germans make better cars than America do. You know it's true. Come on, we can talk. America is not the smartest. They're not the brightest bulb. They're not the most frugal. America's economy is the strongest because it got started with 300 years of free slave labor. Now, free and slave are oxymorons. They should not be placed in the same sentence, but I'm putting them there, realizing what I'm doing. And here's what God said to me Saturday morning about why he's going to destroy the American economy. He's going to decimate it. The people are begging in the streets. Because for 300 years, America was able to build, they were able to plant, and they didn't have to pay a penny in wages. They didn't have to pay 1 penny in medical expenses. And all the children of the slaves didn't have to pay for 1 lesson or education and education expenses until the 19th century. And so for 300 years of not having to pay wages, and still even now, major corporations don't want to pay $15 per hour wages, but for a year they didn't pay a damn thing. And that's how America became richer than Europe. That's how America became the richest world economy. Not because they're smarter, not because they build better products, but for 300 years they didn't have to pay not 1 penny in labor. It wasn't free, it was slave labor. And what the Lord, now this is what Jesus said to me. You don't have to like it. I pray that you'll understand I'm the Lord's servant. I said, I pray that you'll understand that I'm the Lord's servant. I'm the Lord's servant. I just speak the truth. That's all it is. I just speak the truth. It doesn't have a color attached to it. But the Lord said to me, he's going to wreck this economy. He's going to wreck it like you ain't never seen before. That's right. All these years. And you know, I mean, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. I would not vote for him. I would not. But he's right on several issues, Bernie Sanders. When you got 3 families, listen to this, and listen to Bernie Sanders. I'm not here saying vote for him. I certainly wouldn't tell you to vote for that Joe Biden. But you got 3 families in America that have more wealth than 50% of the people at the bottom of the American poverty level. 3 families got more money than 170 million other people could put together. 3 families got more money than 170 million other people put together. It ain't right. And the rich keep getting richer. And by the way, for all you nincompoops out there, Obama was the biggest Wall Street supporter. Listen, they got rid of George Bush because he wasn't liberal enough to Wall Street. George Bush could have put together a stimulus package. George Bush could have stopped the 2008. George Bush could have bailed out AIG. George Bush could have bailed out Lehman Brothers. George Bush could have bailed out Goldman Sachs. Obama bailed him out. Obama bailed out the auto industry. Give me your clunker, I'll give you a brand new car. Bring me your old car and I'll give you a new one so that General Motors can continue to prosper. That's right. That's right. He's Wall Street Obama, running around here talking about he's the first black president. I've never seen a bunch of monkeys as crazy as these monkeys running around here talking about Obama, the first black president. It was a sight for the sore eyes. And Tribulation Trump wants to be like Obama. He wants to be the Wall Street chief. And all he ever brags about this, I've watched Trump, and you have too, during this coronavirus crisis over the last 3 weeks. He'll get up in his briefing, he'll talk about, the economy, the Wall Street is this or that or the other. I've not heard, I swear before God, I've not heard that man say one time a word of sympathy or condolences for the people that have died as a result of this virus, for the workers that go to work without the proper equipment. In fact, he's listening to these redneck MAGA hat wearing cult members talking about this is a hoax, it's all a hoax. I mean, that whole Alex Jones business with Sandy Hook and Newtown being a hoax, where that boy went in there and ripped those little babies, ripped them 3 and 4 year old babies' head open with them hot metal bullets, and Alex Jones said it was a hoax. And to this very day, you got people out there in MAGA hat countries calling it a hoax, and they're calling this a hoax as well. But I've not heard Tribulation Trump one time say that he empathizes with the people that are dying. But I can tell you what God said to me, and we're going to still be, pastor and member and whatever it is you have as a relationship with me. God's going to tear up this American economy. He's had enough. 300 years. 300 years. And by the way, don't think that somehow or another Lyndon Johnson and John Kennedy and Martin King with their civil rights and equal housing and equal lending and Thurgood Marshall and appointed to the Supreme Court somehow or another pays for 300 years of slave labor, but it made America the richest, most powerful nation ever because it didn't have to pay a damn dime to do anything. Didn't have to pay a dime. Let me tell you something. I've been through the South. I've seen some of these castles and plantation houses that were built, and you didn't have to, the boss man didn't have to pay a dime to build them. All they had to do was get the supplies. And mainly had the homeboy make most of the supplies, the wood, the mahogany, the oak, the floors, the windows, the doors, the porch, the swings, the roofing, the bricks, the chimneys. Homeboy made that. And Mr. Charlie didn't have to pay a dime to get a 15-room mansion built on this plantation way back up in the woods behind the willow trees. God's had enough of it. Damn it. He said he's had enough. He said, he told me this. He told me. He said, I had enough. Had enough. Running around here talking about you got the greatest economy, and then you got this Trump talking about he's the greatest thing ever. No, this economy is going to hell, and it's going to hell as quick as you ever want to see it. God's disrupting the whole thing. He shut down everything. Everything's shut down. Shut down everything. Shut down everything. Shut it all down. That's right. Oh, nothing peep nor squeak. Shut it down. Oh, shut down Burger King. You see a going out of business sign on Kentucky Fried Chicken. Gone out of business. Gone fishing. Burger King too? Nah. What God said to me, that's how I was sitting there in the prayer closet. I was minding my own business. Then, and God said to me, I mean, I knew this, but to hear God say it to me the way he said that these people have ripped and robbed, and now you got people who are now running the government. People are running around here talking about we're going to elect a president. You done lost your damn mind. Listen, the presidents get picked by Wall Street, by Goldman Sachs. They are the ones who decide. And they decided that they didn't want Jezebel Clinton. I don't know what was wrong with her, but they decided they didn't want her. And they snuck Trump in there. The biggest fool, Trump is the biggest buffoon. I swear he's like a bull in a china shop. But they said, no, we can control him. We can contain him. We can control him. They put him in there. Running around here talking about I'm going to vote. Hell, he ain't see me. I ain't voting for nothing. Your vote don't mean nothing in America. It didn't mean nothing when you're on the plantation. It don't mean nothing now. Goldman Sachs, Wall Street chooses who the president of this. Wall Street chooses the judge. Wall Street. Listen, let me tell you something. Can I tell you one more thing? Come up close. I will show something. Promise not to inflict myself upon you any further after I tell you this. Listen. Black people don't even choose their own leaders. Did you know that? The last black leader that had been two of recent, one was Nat Turner. Well, Marcus Garvey, okay, and I'll give him Marcus and I'll give him Malcolm. But black people don't choose their own leader. Listen, white people chose Dr. King. They're the one who made him somebody. I can tell you this right now. Pastor Stanley told me, and Pastor Stanley didn't lie, Pastor Stanley told me that Negroes in the Baptist church didn't want to have nothing to do with Dr. King. It had nothing to do with him. It was when the Japheth man came along and said, he's a nice boy. He's educated. He's got a PhD. He speaks so well. Let's go ahead and support him. Let's put him in the New York Times. Let's put him on television. Let's put him on Merv Griffin. Let's get Marian Anderson. Let's get the Kennedy boys to support him. Let's get that Kennedy boy to support him. It made him somebody. That made him somebody. Black folk don't choose their own leaders. How come they're leaderless? The Japheth man tells the black man who's going to lead. Look at Al Sharpton. Look at Al. Here's a man. Let me tell you something. You got people in prison right now serving longer prison sentences for selling dope than Al Sharpton, who sold more dope in Harlem, told more lies. And yet he's now put up on television as a concholine hair wearing black, some sort of somebody of a black leader. Who did that? Who the hell did that? Who said he leads black folk? Who said that? The Japheth man says, we like him. He's the epitome of fools. Look at him. He's got a fool haircut. He got a fool. He's a fool. He's a fool. And look at him. That's what the father of the black man. Al Sharpton is the father of the black man, and the father of a black man is a fool. Look at him. Look at him. He's a fool. He's a fool. Look at him. Black people don't choose their own leaders. So God said to me, I was in the closet the other day, I was in there praying. And I said, he's going to tear down this economy. Yeah, he's after America. He's after y'all. That's right, Wall Street. Y'all can pass as many budgets as you like. You can do what you want. The stock is going down to the bottom. And all y'all going to learn to beg again. All y'all banks foreclosing people, evicting people, charging our interest rates, ripping off and robbing as you go along. But don't forget this, and I'm going to let y'all go because I got another segment. For 300 years, you didn't have to pay a dime for labor. Imagine how rich you could be if you were a nation of people for 300. And by the way, don't think that somehow or another the North didn't benefit from the free labor in the South. They did. No, they did. You know, I'm not a fan. I'm not necessarily against Bernie Sanders. I ain't gonna vote for him. But you need to listen to him. You listen to that old goat. He's trying to tell you. He's trying to tell you. They tell you to go to school, get an education, go to college. You come out of college on $150,000. You're gonna be in debt for the rest of your life. There's an interest on it. Listen, they charge a young boy who goes to college to do something with his life, and he runs up $150,000 debt. They charge him more interest than they charge the banks on money that they give to them to loan, to build houses or to do businesses. And yet they want the little man who got a college education to pay more in interest than the banks themselves. This ain't right. And Bernie Sanders said that you ought to have free education in America. The free is, hell, you had free labor. If Bernie Sanders say that, then I might say, I might consider vote for him. But Bernie Sanders stood up one day and said, hell, we ought to have free education in America. We ought to have free health care in America. Why? Because we have free labor for 300 years. So free, free, free. All three free. You had free labor for 300 years. You didn't pay a dime. You ought to now give free health and free education. Bernie Sanders said that I ain't gonna vote for him, but I would, I'd give it some serious thought. Man, I'll tell you something. I stepped up in the pulpit Saturday. I stepped up in there, and I was glad to be back. The church was empty. I gotta tell you, the church still looked good when it's empty. The oak pews, I tell you, this oak is as beautiful as anything you ever want to see. And the marble and everything. And I stepped up there, and the Lord said, now here, he said, tell the people that you want to pray for people that deserve mercy. And you want to, even when people make a mistake, and they end up in death, that you pray you'll be able to chance to get a judge them because you can have and a lot of people, I know a lot of people, maybe you know a lot of people as well. But he also told me that Saturday morning, I didn't get a chance to share it this past Saturday, but he told me to tell America that your economic days are over with, that you have robbed for 300 years and you never paid a wage. And now you got the Mexicans coming up. Here they come from down there in Santa Ana country, picking strawberries and cabbage and cucumbers and cleaning toilets and washing basins and serving burritos and all that kind of stuff, all across Southwest America, and you're not paying them either. And you're touting about how many billionaires. Bloomberg can spend $1 billion on an election that can't get him 3 points in the polls. Had 3 billionaires running for, Yang, Steyer, Bloomberg, all of them running for president. They're all billionaires. They're all billionaires. But I'll tell you something, man, my heart shuddered Saturday morning when God says he's going to tear America's economy limb from limb. It's payback time. And payback is a B-I-T-C-H. God said it's payback time for America. 300 years and you never paid one wage. 300 years you never educated the children that you worked all day and all night. You worked to can't see to can't see. Can't see in the morning to can't see at night. 300 years and you never gave a health program. 300 years and your laborers never were able to go to a hospital. 300 years to build America to be the great nation that it is, or that you claim that it is right now. God says he's had it with you. He's had it with you. He's at it with you. That's why it's so sad to see what's happening here in Harlem, to see these Negro preachers and see your Negro family members running around here talking about giving up Harlem to all these Japheth people who, after they work your butt for 300 years, never paid you a dime, never paid you a dime, never let you go to school, never put you in a hospital when you got sick. And now you're going to give them your community. You're going to give them your businesses. You're going to give them, it is such a shame to see that these churches and these preachers, it is a scream before God. That's why ATLAH is so important. And by the way, that's why they did what they did to Marcus Garvey. But it's a shame before God. But God says, America, your day's over. That's it. That's it. It's payback time. It's payback time. 300 years. Wall Street, need to break it up. Need to break up the banks. That's right. Need to break up the insurance company. Need to break it up. Need to break it up. And there need to be fair share. That's right. All that. Need to break it all up. And the moment y'all start figuring out there ain't 2 cents worth of difference between a Democrat and a Republican, because they all get pulled by the same string down there on Wall Street. running around here talking about the greatest industrial age ever. Trump talking about he's the greatest president ever. Yeah, all right, okay. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.